of his gameplay without asking him allow to post and stuff. So this is kind of what's happening in the background, but the player's just doing it to get the super stove so he can, cook his food in one click. Okay, moving on to virality. This is one of the main things currently that is all the developers all over the world are focusing on for Facebook games. Virality is basically a way of getting your players to get their friends to start playing. And how you do this is by putting a lot of features in your game, like basing your core gameplay around the fact that you need neighbors around you. So you need to have your friends playing the game in order to, speed up your level up and to progress in the game. It's divided into two types, which is intrinsic and extrinsic virality. Intrinsic is basically, it's not direct. So like for example, you see the build a super stove. So how this works is it tells you need 5 friends to help you in order to build the super stove. But this is intrinsic because the obvious thing is you need to first have 5 people playing the game. You need to have 5 of your friends, neighbors with you so they can help you. And extrinsic is kind of like what Farmville does, where it straight away tells you need 15 neighbors to get the next expansion. So that is extrinsic. So the players prefer the intrinsic thing because the game is not telling you straight like, okay, do us a favor and get your friends to start playing. It's telling you, oh, your friends need to help you out to do this. So then they feel, oh, I should ask my friends to start playing. So you need to always have this constant need for neighbors. That's the basic thing. Your game, as you progress, the number of neighbors that you keep requiring to, progress faster in the game needs to constantly be increasing.
Neighbors, like when it comes to virality, neighbors is like a really important thing. Like the more friends you have playing with you, you get certain immediate rewards for doing so. Like in Cafe World, you have expansions. You start off really small with a really small cafe, and you could expand your cafe as you progress in the game. It will cost you money. You're also required to add new friends in order to expand your cafes. And most games lock stuff like content according to the number of friends you have playing the game. This is a great way to advertise for your game. Like suppose I want this super store cafe where I will need to invite some of my friends to play the game and ask them to send me materials. So it's a social game. It's all about getting your friends to play with you. Wall posts, like coming to virality, wall posts are still, right now they're being blocked out by Facebook, but you still see XYZ is playing the game. So earlier, most social games used to focus a lot on wall posts. Like any small achievement you could do in the game, any small part of the call loop you could complete, you could post it. But these days now, since the wall posts have been blocked, people move towards gift requests. Like you can still send invites and gift requests, which show differently in your Facebook's request section, but the wall posts are still. And for normally when people click up, if I'm playing Vineyard Country and you're playing Vineyard Country, I would still see your wall posts. So wall posts are also still important as they give that bragging.
Yeah. So wall posts have now shifted from getting new players. So if I have not played Vineyard Country and I see someone's Vineyard Country post and I'm like, oh cool, I should play that game. So that is no longer there in Facebook. They've removed that thing. But then if I'm playing Vineyard Country and he's playing Vineyard Country, he'll be able to see that I just reached level 2000 and he'll be like...
The socializing element is still there, but the free advertising element, that's being taken out. Viral features, certain features such as the Super Stove. How many of y'all have played Cafe World? Okay. So in Cafe World, you have this lightning Super Stove. And in quite a few of the Zynga games, you have this lightning super stove in which it requires 4 items within, say, A, B, C, D. And you need to ask your friends to send you these items. And you can send these items to your friends. So it adds a lot of viral, as in order to get this stove, you would need to invite XYZ amount of friends and ask them to send you on a regular basis. And it will encourage your friends to keep playing the game, not just start playing the game. And also you can directly buy this for like premium currency. By paying real cash, you could directly get your super stove.
Okay, so the many Facebook games, they tie the player progression with a lot of friends that if you have, then only you can progress, you can complete this particular task. But I feel that should not block the player progressing in the game. There should be some alternative way that player can pass through and they can progress in the game. So this way it comes the monetization that you can do. So as an economic designer, you should think about, okay, designer has blocked this, he stopped the player buying this item with a particular level or with a particular viral feature. So your objective is to just how you can monetize well with that. Okay? Precisely giving the correct amount for particular goods, it's really important here, because one way the player can burn the game completely if he buys some very 100 level item, so he can burn the game in like 2 days and the game is finished and there's nothing more in the game for him. So this is, you need to take care of it as an economic designer, because designer won't do any numbers thing. So let's go ahead.
I do numbers thing.
If you want.
Okay, so now the next thing is socializing. Socializing is something different from virality. It's not where you need neighbors or things like that. It's just pure bragging and pure like just telling your friends, oh look, I'm playing and I'm doing this and stuff. So this is something that you don't really put in features, socializing features in order to get new players. You just put it for the existing players so they can socialize and have fun with their friends. So this can be like every time you level up, you visit your friend and stuff, you can always drop in a wall post so they know that they did stuff for you and things like that. So yeah, so you basically, all your features that you do, you should always have a social aspect where you can always tell your friends who are playing the game what you're up to. So this way other people might discover features which they didn't know about.
Socializing. One great way of socializing is like helping friends. In Vineyard Country, you have to grow your grapes on your fields, and once you make your grape, you take it to your brewery and you make wine out of this grape. There's a certain time limit you can keep for the grapes to grow, and if it expires this time limit, the grapes rot and they spoil. But your friends can help you by harvesting your grapes for you. Like suppose I can't log in today, I would call Ash, dude, I can't harvest my grapes today, could you just please log in and do it for me? But he doesn't have to log in with my account, he can log in his own account and help me harvest my grapes. Similarly, Cafe World has, you can spice people's stoves. When you spice your friend's stoves, he gets more dishes and he can sell more dishes and he'd progress a little faster than he would when he had no help from his friends. Another thing is like, normally I'm playing this game. When I'm playing a single player game, I do not like need to see my friends actually playing the game. When in a social game, like, you can actually see your friends as NPCs moving around and working. So hiring your friends is a nice feature to add in. So it gives a real like, oh, I'm actually playing the game with my friends. When they're actually not online playing, but all the NPCs in my game would be my friends. So I have to hire friends to work for me in Vineyard Country, and similarly in Cafe World, I can hire my friends to work my cafes.
So basically, if you have any NPCs in your game, it's always a good idea to just take random names from the friend list of the player which you have access to, and just put names on top so the player feels like, oh look, there's, you know, Bhavin walking around in a pink shirt, and you know, it's really cool.
Okay, in real life, the gifting meta system is really popular. Like, we have our birthdays, we send and receive gifts. It's Christmas, we send gifts. Diwali, we send gifts. And everyone loves receiving gifts and sending gifts. So this mechanic migrated to Facebook. Similarly on Facebook, in almost every social gaming play, you can send a certain amount of gifts and you can receive free gifts every day. And it just adds so much to the social element. When I log in today and I see, oh, I have like 10 gifts and XYZ, and you know, oh, I like XYZ, she said, send me a gift. So, and similarly, works the other way around. So you send a gift back, right? Again you get another gift the next day. Then again, so that encourages people to keep logging in your name and sending gifts.
Okay, so now moving on, the next thing we'll talk about is player progression. How this works is, you have to continuously allow the player to discover new things in the game. So it's like when I start, I have a farm, and for example, if you take Farmville, when I start, I have a farm and I put my crops and I'm growing. But then later on, after a certain level, he discovers, okay, there's a barn where I can store stuff, and you know. So the thing is, you have to map features to unlock according to the player level or to his neighbors or things like that, so that as the player's playing, he doesn't get bored. So by the time he's mastered a certain thing and he's like, okay, cool, like now what else can I do in the game? Suddenly like bam, you know, he's like, oh, there's this other thing now that started and I can do that and things like that. So the clever unlock system is how this is realized in most games. So as you level up and as you gain levels, you unlock new parts of the game and not just items and stuff. The other thing that is very important, and this is something that we've learned the hard way, but something that is super important if you're working on a social game, is having a strong post-release team. Now what this team will do is, once you've made the core game and it goes live, either you do it yourself, you become the post-release team, or you hand it over to a post-release team, but they constantly maintain the game. They constantly have, like over here you can see like 4th of July, so they have events, they maintain your fan page, your forums, they interact with the players offline, as in not on the game but on your fan page, and they keep adding new items and new features and things like that. So your game is constantly evolving. So if I started playing Farmville like 2 years back, and if I play Farmville now, you'll see the game is completely different. It's like better looking, it's got more features, it's got, 500 pop-ups that come up when you log in for the first time and things like that. So this is basically the post-release team that's working, and once they've been given a cool game, they start working up on it and stuff like that. So player progression is basically that.
Okay, player progression is handled by the level up system, which is like custom to traditional RPGs. They always have a level up system. When you gain a certain amount of experience, you gain a level. This same RPG level up system has made its way to Facebook, and the thing is, in Facebook, they gate content by your level up system. So in Vineyard Country, a lot of your function items, like the items you need to progress in the game, they're locked according to level. Even your decorative items you need just to express yourself and customize your studio, they're again locked according to your level. And expansions. In Vineyard Country, like you start off with a small little kind of vineyard, and you can expand, you can build bridges and expand your vineyard to different locations on the map. And in order to do so, you need to level up, and the bridges are locked according to level. Cafe World, like the number of stoves and the number of counters you can have, they're locked according to level. So that's the way the level up system works in RPG gaming. It's used mainly to add new content in and to expand existing content.
Okay, so here comes the trick, like when you decide, okay, you want to have this particular item, this, but how do you decide at this level player should get this particular item? So first you need to decide the lifespan of the game. That after 2 months, player should be at level 60 if he plays this many hours in a day, or if he plays this many times in a day. So you need to decide the lifespan of the game, that okay, you will support the game for a 60 level first, then you will plan something ahead. And also you need to manage the sink and sources of the game. Whatever the player earns in the game, he should be able to spend somewhere in the game. So this is, you need to kind of balance it out, and managing the time layer to ensure the player cannot burn the game in a day or something like that. Because what will happen if I spend like, let's say $5 or $6 in the game, I can level up, let's say in 30 in a day actually. That can happen with the many games that I have played. So this should not happen, and you need to constrain the player in somehow that okay, after this point of time you need to wait, no matter you have spent this amount of money or something like that. So you need to stratify the content according to that. So this is like in March. Yes.
Can you give some examples on how do you constrain your users?
With the time. First of all, with the time. Let's say if you buy an energy, okay, if you buy an energy, again it's over. After a while, it will be getting. Again, you will have to spend money. So the player will be continuously spending money. So a player will not going to do that always. So this is how you need to manage. Okay, at some point of time, that particular item is not useful for you, no matter if you buy it or not. So this is how you need to manage this one.
And another example would be like, when I grow a crop, it takes XYZ amount of time to grow when I plant it. So the timing system and putting time delays in on actions you do in the game